Hi, it's Marty Millner with Coldwell Banker Hearthside Realtors in Newtown, Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching another edition of my video blog. Wanted to talk to you about something today as we get closer to the holidays and New Year. Talk about why it makes sense for sellers to do home inspections before they list. We all know that as a buyer, there are a lot of contingencies in the contract. One of the largest and frankly one of the biggest issues with houses that don't end up going to settlement after an offer has been accepted is the home inspection contingency. So why should a seller do an inspection before they put the house on the market? I have several reasons. First, it basically avoids the sort of typical renegotiation after an offer is presented and accepted. You get a nice offer on your house, you think the process is finished, you can move on, wherever you're going next. All of a sudden the buyer does their home inspection and you are presented oftentimes with a long laundry list, sometimes serious, sometimes not, issues that the buyer expects you as the seller to fix. If you have an inspection done before you put the house on the market, you can address issues that come up. You can choose to disclose those issues and maybe not fix it. And again, at least theoretically, if the issue is disclosed ahead of time, it should be reflected in the buyer's offer, but you're not generally going to go through the process of renegotiation after the offer has already been accepted. The second reason, frankly, is you get better offers. I would use the inspection that you've done prior to listing the house. I would share that with a buyer or prospective buyers, and again, makes the buyer more comfortable and confident that you as the seller have addressed any issues that come up. So you generally get better offers. The other thing, the third point with getting why it makes sense to inspect the house before it's listed, you can avoid disclosure issues or help to avoid disclosure issues. The seller's disclosure, which is required of sellers in Pennsylvania and New Jersey for the most part. There are a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, you have to fill out a seller's disclosure. It's actually one of the only documents that survives settlement, meaning that if you fail to disclose something and a buyer suffers harm, it is possible that you could be held liable even after settlement for damages incurred and suffered by a buyer because of your lack of disclosure. If you do an inspection prior to listing your house and you share that with a buyer, they certainly can't ever, it'd be much more difficult to allege that a seller wasn't forthright and upfront in terms of disclosing everything that they're aware of about the house. So you can avoid potentially disclosure issues. And again, as I mentioned before, if you do an inspection and choose not to fix something, you can also disclose that. And again, if the buyer is aware of it up front, they should reflect that condition in their offer and not subject you to further renegotiation. So the fourth point I'd like to make is that it just generally creates a less stressful environment in your transaction if you've done an inspection before the house is listed and fixed and addressed any issues that would come up with the inspection. It's just much less stressful because there is a lot of stress in general with a real estate transaction, but specifically with a home inspection, that's really always an area of uncertainty for most sellers when they don't take the option of having the house inspected before it's listed. So if you have any other questions or thoughts about this, be glad to address them. You can reach me at 215-519-1399. Shoot me an email or a text. I'll be glad to answer any real estate questions that you have. If you're looking to find out what your house is worth, I can address that also. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you the next time.